You have it shortly. I'm quite used to it. Combat data updated. Please rest assured that I will not blow the roof off again.
Wow! Can this launch blaster thing really shoot stuff from that far away?
It does launch and blast things, but it's actually called a ballista. And yes, it can.
But how does it stay on target?
It uses a remote guidance system. But I'll let you in on a little secret. The upgraded version doesn't even need that.
Can I give it a try?
Oh, not a chance, kid. Can't have you hurting yourself. Believe me, this thing is even more powerful than it looks. Ask me again once you're older.
Hey, Beto! What you up to?
Oh, it's you two! I was just introducing our product to these discerning young customers.
Paimon thought you were here for some, you know, fishing? Wait, are these three?
What? No, of course not. The kids were just curious, that's all.
I'm sorry. Are these three preventing you from doing business? Let me get them out of your hair. Come on, time to go.
Oh, do we have to?
Don't sweat it. They were just curious. I'm
No, we've taken up enough of your time already. Neb.
Okay.
It was no bother, I swear. In fact, once the expo is over, come find me on my ship, and I'll let you see the ballista in action. How does that sound?
How much would it cost?
Not a single mora.
Really? It's a promise then, miss.
Your vessel. It's a battleship, isn't it? Are you sure?
Why not? Whenever we're docked back in Liyue to pick up supplies, I always let the kids around the harbor come aboard to... If a kid from Liyue can do it, why not a kid from Sumeru? A battleship may as well be a giant playground to them.
Is that so? I've heard that people in Liyue also turn gunpowder into explosive firecrackers and give them to children as toys. Perhaps only the kids back in your home country are lucky enough to look at a giant battleship and see a playground.
If you're worried about safety, I can...
No, I suppose I'm just envious. That's all.
Seems like he really cares about those kids, huh? Anyway, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, just wanted to ask how it's going with the top secret, fishing. Did you reel in the catch of the day yet?
They're circling the hook just fine. Just waiting for a bite.
Whoa! Where did you come from?
Shh.
Well, that just proves my point. Something like this would...
Ah, except you never find something like this for sale there. Better jump on the chance now before it's too late.
Excuse me?
He's coming this way!
Steady now.
That's mighty expensive.
Well, no one's forcing you to buy it. If you're not interested, you're free to move along.
What? Come on, there's no...
The Voynich Guild gets a cut of whatever I sell. Obviously, that's fact.
Listen, I can tell this is something special. If you're willing to go a bit lower, I'm prepared to cut a huge deal.
I know it's something special, so I plan on getting paid what it's worth.
Perhaps there's a way we can both get what we want then.
What are you implying?
Well, Nod Cry's a big place. Surely this expo isn't the only place we can cut a deal.
Oh?
What would you say to working this out someplace else? Somewhere the guild can't get a cut?
That means no guild protection either. What will I do if you run off without paying?
Considering the giant sword you've got handy, if anyone's getting robbed, it'd be me, don't you think? Point is, we're both going out on a limb here. But the reward's worth the risk.
Fine. Name a place. As a registered participant, though, I'm too close to the guild. If we don't want them catching on, I'll need to send a proxy.
Smart thinking. Let's meet here, then.
Good. He took the bait. Let's go elsewhere to discuss our next move.
Captain Beto's hook was what got him in the end, huh? Oh.
This isn't tabletop troop, Navia. In real life, persuasion takes a lot more than a dice roll.
I brought a product tailor-made for Fontaine because I thought the group's activities were limited to that area.
Turns out, we're dealing with an international crime ring. So I suppose it makes sense that Captain Beto's bait was more enticing.
We wouldn't have gotten far without your intel either. Gotta ask though, how did you know these guys would be so—
I read their file. Nothing's off the table for them when profit's on the line. When it comes down to it, they'd see the protection the Expo provides as just more red tape.
So, we meet up with this guy, catch.
No. The person we're meeting is just an underling sent to scout the situation. We're after the leader of the whole ring. And after observing the situation over the past 2 days, it's clear they have undercover agents waiting in the wings. If something happens to our point of contact, those agents will scatter to spread word of what happened, and whoever is behind this whole thing will know we're onto them.
In that case...
We have to get the jump on them all at once, and use them to get intel on our real target before he has a chance to react.
Forgive me for pointing out the obvious, though. We have nowhere near enough—
Let me guess. You'd rather follow this deal through to the end to lure out the real culprit? Nice idea, in theory. The problem is, in my experience, that person would never show their face for something like this.
I can work around that. But only as long as the deal goes up.
So, you're planning to trail the person picking up the goods. I suppose that could lead us to the big fish, but that would mean we have to actually— Aren't you worried about putting something that dangerous in the hands of criminals?
We can control how dangerous it is. But if we followed your plan, could we really guarantee that not a single agent would get away?
Having a fight?
They're both experts in this sort of thing. A lot of back and forth.
Like 2 peas in a pod.
Let's do this thing!
Accelerating.
There he is!
You really can't go lower?
Best I can do is shave off the amount the guild was going to take.
You're a tough nut to crack.
Depends on what you need. You don't look like you're from around these parts.
Yes, but there are a lot of eyes on the port. It would be better to dismantle the product and transport the components in crates.
That might be tricky. If you're worried about getting caught, then let's buy...
Sorry. But I'd still prefer to have it dismantled.
Ah, I'm guessing the port of arrival is where you resell the goods? You want it hidden in unassuming cargo. Most of the weapons have come in through Yilong Wharf or Lumidus Harbor. So that seems to...
What are you trying to say?
Nothing. Just connecting some dots. I think we're done here.
Out of the way!
It's one of the undercover agents! He's making a break for it!
The captain of the Special Patrol will take it from here.
One just popped up. Looks like the one on the surface has been subdued. There are children around. I have to avoid bloodshed.
Trying to escape? Allow me to show you the way!
Nope, not this way.
Had enough? Then turn around! Out of steam yet? 'Cause I can do this all day!
My leg!
Is still attached. And if you want to keep it that way, I suggest you stay right where you are.
A special patrol uniform. You think bringing me in is enough? Do you even know how many of us there are? If even one gets a...
5 at the port, 10 on the outskirts of Nasha Town, 3 near the plaza. Factoring in you and the buyer, that makes 20. Save the best for last, right?
How did you...
Don't even think about it.
Well done, everyone. We appreciate the assist. The boss sends her thanks.
It was an honor. Without the Spina's help back in the day, we never would have been able to make it in Nodcry. It was about time we returned the favor.
What? I needed to make you seem intimidating to get these local gangs on our side. We've been over this.
Yeah, I know. But hearing you call me boss will never not be hilarious.
Ugh.
Wow! Navia is something else.
Well, that explains your confidence. I had no idea the Spina di Rosula could mobilize these kinds of numbers outside of Fontaine.
No trade expo rules were broken either. Even if Nefer saw it all unfold herself, we still would—
Except for the guild's broken signboard, I would imagine.
It was an unavoidable sacrifice.
At any rate, I suppose the next step is to get these birds to sing. Should be an easy job. The Maison Gardiennage has a reputation for highly effective interrogation tactics.
And if that doesn't work, I've heard that spies from Liyue have their ways of making people talk as well.
Yes, that means the operation was a success, right?
So far. Once we get someone to reveal who the mastermind behind all this is, that's when the real work begins.
I'm sure that person is in hiding somewhere far removed from the expo. But as far as our deal with the curatorium goes, I think that's a wrap.
Shouldn't we update Nefer then?
First, we need to figure out what we can learn from these agents.
Well, that went a lot smoother than expected. Not a single one got away. You're thinking about Nefer's final request, huh? Let's see. We have... If you feel like it's missing something, maybe...
Excuse me? Are you the traveler? Yehuda needs you back at the expo venue as soon as possible.
Oh no! Did something happen?
I'm sorry, I don't know the details. All she said was that it's urgent.
Now let's get a move on!
Either I throw the guild under the bus, or I get on the bad side of a terrifying merc captain. Oh, could this get any worse? Get it together, Yehuda. Focus on the hot dog you're gonna treat yourself to after today is over. One thing at a time. All right. You've got this.
Let's try not to get too worked up, all right?
Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. I swear.
What happened?
You're here. Please, you've got to help me, Traveler. A theft at the expo is gonna...
A theft? How did that happen?
You're asking me. The guild has people keeping watch.
Beto? Wait, that means...
The guild asked us to keep our goods stored on the designated shelves. I had a few prototypes that I was using for demonstration, but when I came to check on things just now...
And each ballista is super dangerous! If they fall in...
Well, all the prototypes have a failsafe designed to prevent unauthorized use, so it could be worse. Still,
The guild will make sure of that. If you could just keep this between us for now, we would be Do we have to tell her?
Honesty is the best policy. That's what he taught us.
I know, it's just...
Miss Yehuda...
What are you three doing here?
There's something you want to tell me, isn't there?
Well, Neb's been obsessed with the ballistas ever since we got here. That's why Uncle Ashvapati told us to come see your booth. It seemed like he was interested in them too. Ever since this morning, We haven't been able to reach him.
And?
I don't think Uncle Ashvapati would do something like that, but...
Ashvapati works for the guild. Wait, so now it's an inside job? Oh.
He made those toys the kids were selling, right? They don't look like much. If he's a tech guy, those.
So, this just went from... Uh-oh.
Could be. I mean, let's put it this way. There aren't a whole lot of people that could manage to stay off Yelan's Why don't you take these kids to the curatorium and see what you can learn?
Got it!
Hold up. We can't hold these kids responsible, though. Right?
No, of course not, but... No.
You want to look out for these kids, don't you?
I promised I would.
Good, because I'm looking out for them too. That's why I want to find their uncle as soon as...
Guess we're on the same page.
Take these kids to the curatorium. I'll update Yelan and tell her...
Will do!
Yeah.
Reviewing outstanding items on today's to-do list. Do you have any additional commands? No problem. I can add them shortly. I'm quite used to it. Combat data updated. Please rest assured that I will not blow the roof off again.
Well, this complicates things. Here I was hoping the trouble would start and end with you two. But no matter. This will all make for a very engaging story.
I wouldn't be so flippant. This time, it's one of yours causing trouble. I'm starting to wonder if all those agents we captured were just a distraction, so the real culprit could move.
Isn't our real uncle. We've been traveling from place to place with him for as long as I can remember. We got to NICOLE not too long ago.
Guys, what about them? I just minded something a bit ago. As Arrow came out of nowhere, gained technological capabilities far surpassing those of other groups. Leveraging that advantage, they built a number of highly advanced weapons and sold them. The conflicts in the desert became even bloodier as a result. While the other groups were tearing each other to shreds, these newly minted arms traders. But before long, their own weapons were turned against them. And as the flames of conflict engulfed the desert, none of the weapons survived. And so, in the wake of that destruction, the status quo...
That's terrible.
In the desert, it's kill or be killed. People will stop at nothing to gain the upper hand. If this happened in Fontaine or Liyue, I'm sure the perpetrators would have been prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But from what they've told us...
No! No matter... Sure, he's...
I'm sorry.
So?
From our interrogations, we've learned that in 2 days, the person behind...
Sure?
Hey! Don't...
Okay.
Looks like I'll need to enlist...
We just got word from Yelan. Looks like it's not...
Took me a bit longer than I expected, but I found where he's hiding.
Let me just be sure of one thing. We're dealing with someone who has extreme...
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got this.
I'll take you at your word.
I know you said you wanted to keep this operation small, but I still thought you could use some backup. So, I chose a few promising young Spina members to help out. Clarande and I have got things covered at the expo.
Yes, we're ready to roll then.
Now that you're here, I guess we can get this show on the road.
Wait!
I'm sorry, you can't come with us. You need to stay at the expo like we agreed. It's for your...
We know. It's just... Do you really think...
I wish I could answer that question, but it would just be speculation. And I work based off evidence.
He's been gone for 2 days now. But if that's true, then that means he must have been involved in making and selling weapons in the past too. Wouldn't that make him a bad person?
That's not for us to say. Take a look around the expo. There are plenty of other people making and selling weapons. Doesn't mean they're necessarily all bad people.
Really?
The same is true for your uncle. Whatever he may have done in the past, in Fontaine, we have a long and complicated process in place just to make sure we get the right answer to that question.
Yeah. Why would Uncle Ashva...
How about this? I'll make sure that Miss Chev... Then you can ask him...
Thanks, miss.
This situation is complicated and unpredictable. Isn't it a bit early to be making those kinds of promises?
It's all right. We're prepared for what...
Regardless, it's a promise we have to keep.
Then, let's all do our part to make sure...
Stop right there!
Where is he?
We missed him.
Looks like he left behind plenty of evidence, though. Search the area. Let's see if we can find a lead. These records look suspiciously familiar.
Yeah. Doesn't seem very coincidental to me either.
What is it?
Remember when I said this group's cover was ironclad? They were always careful never to leave a trail leading back to them. The one time they slipped up, it broke the case wide open. We found a cargo manifest left behind at the scene.
So, he's the guy that slipped up back there?
Unless it wasn't a slip up at all. How does the same clue get left behind at two separate scenes and picked up by two separate law enforcement?
No. Almost like he led us here on purpose.
There's a letter here!
Look at how it's positioned. It was begging to be found.
You think he knew we would come here?
If he did, he's a more impressive opponent than I anticipated.
Let's keep going. We can read it together when we debrief.
Wait! Is this what Paimon thinks it is?
It's the display model that goes with the prototype. Guess that does make...
What's worse is that, with his technical background, I bet he managed to bypass the security features on the prototype.
You're saying our guy has a battle-ready ballista in his possession, just waiting to be unleashed?
Oh, this isn't look...
Something isn't adding up. All the evidence suggests that he was here alone. Which begs the question...
That's a question for another time. We need to focus on where he's going next.
This situation seems more complicated than we imagined. It looks...
You don't think he's working for them?
Unlikely. He lured us to Nodcry, prepared those weapons on his own, deliberately.
Well, if we want to get to the bottom of this, that would seem to be our last remaining
To the officers of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol and the Liyue Qixing. You certainly live up to your reputation. I doubt my secret hide. I'm just glad. It all started with a Kashara War researcher, expelled from the academia for violating a taboo. He had dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge. But when he found himself in the desert, it wasn't even worth a pail of water.
Researchers like you are a dime a dozen. Smart as a whip.
Are you mocking me?
No, son. Just still trying to figure out why I've got... You got somewhere to go?
Not really. Thanks to this water, though. At least I can rule out the bottom of a vulture's stomach.
Now you're talking like desert folk. You could always join my band of misfits.
What would I do?
Gather food, guard our water source, just like everyone else I've taken in. Of course, if you have something you're good at, you're welcome to show it off. Every little bit helps.
All I know is... weapons.
Weapons?
Yeah. I love studying them, big and powerful ones, small. I believe the essence of Kashara War research is embodied in weaponry, and the pursuit. My lifelong goal has always been to become a foremost expert on all kinds of weapons, so I can invent even more. So I might have borrowed a few sensitive techs without permission, but you see the vision, right? The higher-ups in the academia just didn't understand.
The academia could have 1,001 reasons for exiling you out here, and it still wouldn't matter to me, son. All I care about is what this specialty of yours can do for us.
I can help upgrade your weaponry. That should come in handy in a dangerous place like the desert, surely.
True, weapons are essential to life here in the desert. Most folks get them when merchants happen to pass through. But when it comes to protecting the people here, this scimitar in my hand is more than enough. The kind of weapons you're talking about are overkill for a place like this.
Overkill? Really?
Our group is lucky. Our ancestors learned how to protect the oasis from the sandstorms to prevent it from drying up. Plus, we're pretty far off the beaten path. Helps us avoid... All in all, we don't have to travel to find water. We don't have to fight off other desert folk. There are plenty...
I see.
I've heard you Kashara.
You mean, like...
Yes, if you wouldn't mind. It'll give him something to do. Life can get boring out here.
All right, then. And just like that, a Kashara War scholar at the cutting edge of his field ended up in the desert, making toys. It got boring from time to time. Looking back now, I wish I could have lived like that until the end of my days. But then, those despicable people showed up, and it changed. Don't rush me. These materials are in short supply.
Oh, they've got a lot of nerve showing their faces back here.
Send the gem? It has been a while.
Well, we have a right to this oasis too. Our ancestors were part of the group.
You hated this place. After that giant scene.
Because I knew better than to be stubborn. Stay in.
You abandoned this place. If we'd done the same, the oasis...
I heard they joined another band of Eremites after...
Chief, should we drive him off?
I'd like to see you try. I'm warning you. You won't get rid of us that easily.
Leave them be. This oasis has always been big enough to sustain more than... All that matters is keeping the people here safe.
At the time, I didn't think much of it. Just Chaim Wazet being the kind-hearted man he always had been. And so, normal life continued, much unchanged. Well, mostly. I often found myself flipping through my collection of blueprints and sketches. The ruin drakes, scattered around Sumeru, were of particular interest to me. As far as I knew, no one had been able to analyze or reproduce the technology within those mechanisms. But I was able to design a kind of lure to bait them into attacking a specific target, in effect, turning them into a weapon. Somehow, the new arrivals at the oasis must have caught wind of it, because they soon started taking an interest in me.
Hope you don't mind me asking, but is that a weapon you're researching?
I do mind, actually. It's none of your business.
Rumor is you used to be a researcher at the academia. All that knowledge going to waste out here in...
What do you want?
I want to team up. The rules and red tape that got you kicked out of the academia, they don't exist in the desert. But what if you had access to the right funds and materials?
What are you suggesting?
Me and my men can get you what you need. In return, All you gotta do is bring this. We've always had a good eye for business. Just never the right product. But this thing right here, the different...
You want to sell it?
It's a win-win. You provide the goods, and I earn enough mora from these people to fund the research of your dream.
I don't know.
I understand what you're worried about, but listen, it won't come back to bite the people here. These people don't think bigger than this place. They don't get involved in conflict. I mean, come on.
You've made a bad name for yourself around here.
Well, it's your choice. So I'll ask you again. Do you want to finally develop the weapons you've been dreaming of and realize your academic ambitions? Or do you want to stay here building toys for kids?
How I wish I'd made the right choice back then.
Yeah, we increased our prices. What about it?
So, you're really as money hungry as they all say, huh?
Cash is king. That's just business.
Fine.
I'm done.
What are you talking about? We're making bank.
I know what the weapons have been used for, and I refute...
An accomplice? Listen, that's got nothing to...
Can't you sell more than just weapons? Surely this can't be all the Eremites are interested in buying.
If you want to make the big mora, you gotta push what sells. That's just how it is.
And that right there is why I want out.
Fine. I've made more than enough to leave this dump in the dust anyway.
What was that? Time was it? How did this happen?
You won't find a tribe in this desert without enemies. People have tried to steal water from this oasis in the past, but Kayem drove them off. Guess his enemies have been holding a grudge this whole time.
You sold weapons to his enemies.
It was the perfect excuse to drive up the price, that's why.
It was only later that I found out. This wasn't the first time Senegem. I didn't chase after them or try. But once the weapons I designed were turned again in the end. Despite all the... And now, you know the full account of my crimes. I've been raising them ever since, while attempting to hunt down the men who made them orphans in the first place. This confession is for the kids to read, too. So, I know I'm in no position to make requests, but please, help them